everyone, a very good morning. Let me tell you quickly what Map of Me is all about. Map of Me is a digital mobile youth channel for the youth. It is for the people who have passed out of school, college, who are learning a new skill for their internship or who are just starting their own business. In this channel, you will hear a lot of inspiring stories from entrepreneurs and you could learn a lot from them. Also, there is a 26-step challenge as well as the quiz which you should take it to win exciting prizes. And if you want to meet the people who we have featured in our video, then do reach out to us and we will try to make it happen.
Climate change is a harsh reality. So what should we do about it? Should we just sit around and wait for disaster to strike? When we know the problem, why aren't we searching for a solution? In today's episode of Map of Me in the morning show, this is what we're going to talk about exactly. We're going to be talking to various climate change activists and we're going to learn from them how we can do our part in saving the environment, in saving planet Earth. So I am today's co-host, Hai Yusuf, and you will be coming along with me as we indulge in discussions with many climate change activists and learn from them how we can do our part in saving this planet. Since we are already on the topic, what actually is climate change and what does it mean? Let's go find out, shall we?
What exactly is climate change? Is it wearing different clothes according to the weather of Calcutta, or what is it? Is it that the world is going to end soon? What exactly do you guys think is climate change?
So I think climate change is the increasing of the Earth's temperature from a very long period,
Right.
and it is caused from the crude oil, the combustion fuels, fashion industry,
Right.
okay, the clothing industry. These are causing the climate changes mainly.
There are various factors, included in that, and most effectively the cutting of the forest and all the stuff, it's affecting a climate in the climate change itself.
And let's ask a fun question.
Sure.
If you would choose one superhero, it could be from a movie, it could be in real life, whoever you think comes into mind, one superhero you think could save the entire planet from climate change.
So I will choose Iron Man because
Okay.
he has shown that technology can destroy the whole planet, and again it can reverse the climate change. Like technology can have the capability to do the bad things, and also it can reverse the what it has done wrong in the planet.
And I would select Mr. Neeraj Datta. And
Neeraj Datta,
yeah,
okay.
and I've been working with him for the past 3 years, and we have been part of various activities in Kolkata, in this India itself, in various cities, and we did a lot of drives, cleanup drives, beach cleanup drives, lot of workshops he did, and he's a genius person. I would select him as a superhero.
So were you
I agree.
included in these cleanup drives?
No, it will be my first time.
It's your first time.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have been a part of it. We did, cleanup drive in Kolkata itself that named as cigarette butt rush. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah, and we have collected 24,000 cigarette butts collectively
Wow,
with the whole
right.
team in 24 hours, and till date no one has done that in India.
Wow. That's
And
a very
the
big
second
thing,
phase is also
yeah.
done, and the third one is coming very soon, in this month only. And yeah, we're very excited for that.
Well, I highly appreciate what you're doing for the earth. So thank you so much for
You're
your
most
time.
welcome.
Most welcome.
Thank you.
We want to know that one influential person that comes to your mind to help combat with climate change.
Yeah, climate change basically it has to be everybody to pitch into it, and everyone who pitches into it becomes a superhero of his own self. So if you just add up so many of people out there in Calcutta itself, each one can be a contributing factor. It's just like you're building a bridge, and each one contributes a little stone to it.
Yeah.
So ultimately the bridge
yeah.
is built.
So, because each person has a power within, and if we can identify that power, I think we each have the potential to be a superhero. So look at the number of population in the city that can become superhero for Kolkata.
And we want to know that how do you feel about the fact that Calcutta is getting submerged day by day because of climate change?
It's basically the global warming issue which pertains the whole world, not only Calcutta.
Yeah.
So it's a big threat to the whole world and the planet itself.
Yeah.
So we have to do something to it, jointly, because we cannot go against nature.
Yeah.
Nature is the biggest force, nurtures us, and if we go against it, nature will take its own course against us.
Also, I believe, with every challenge comes an opportunity. So right now, if you see the challenge that the city is facing, maybe there's, so much more we can do to make it better. So I would rather see it that way.
To find out which superhero can save a city from climate change, do not go anywhere.
When I say climate change, what comes to your mind about that?
Climate change means any time like the climate is changing very frequently and we are unable to understand predict like previously monsoon used to be till August, right now it's till September.
Right.
So that is it's very unpredictable, so we can't understand like when it will change.
What if you were to choose a superhero? It can be any superhero from a movie in real life, any woman that you know. One superhero that you think could save Calcutta from climate change. Man, woman, anyone.
That, in fact, is a difficult question for me because I'm not aware of many superheroes.
It can be anyone influential with a lot of power to save Calcutta from
I
climate
think
change.
that superpower is the Almighty only.
Almighty. That's a very good question. Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And if you have to name a superhero who can save the climate, like who can save a city from the climate change, who could it be?
Shaktiman.
If you were to choose any influential person or superhero, anyone you know that can save Calcutta from climate change, who would that person be?
But to be very honest, it is not a single person job. It is not a single person job. We all should contribute. It cannot expect a Superman or someone, Shaktiman or whatever you can say, Captain Planet to come and save this world.
Okay.
We all are Captain Planet.
So we all are the superheroes.
We all the superheroes. We all should contribute and make this planet a better place to live in.
Okay.
That is my perspective.
All right.
And like, what do you guys think about the climate change? As you can see, sometimes it's raining and climate change is a little difficult to tackle. Suddenly it rains and suddenly there's it's very difficult to even keep up your health with a lot of things. Do you guys think it's a big way for us to do something about the climate change? See, it's never too late. You can always, maybe 10 years down the lane, we again see that we could have done it in 2021. So it's never too late. You can still take it.
So guys, what do you think? Some people are not concerned with climate change, some people don't care about it, and some people believe that it's actually not even true. Which brings us back to square one. What exactly is climate change?
So today we're here with Mr. Nirit Datta, who is a climate change activist. I assure you he can tell us what exactly is climate change. So Mr. Nirit, why don't you tell us more about yourself?
So basically, I'm into wildlife conservation and biodiversity. You can say biodiversity conservation as a whole. That involves wildlife and environment as a whole. So my main work revolves around going to schools and colleges and corporates and teaching the young minds and people around India about the importance and the responsibility towards wildlife and environment. The main reason why I do this is because the biggest loophole that I found in India is, so as a whole, the human species don't realize the responsibility towards wildlife and environment, and they don't realize that even how the human race, the survival of the human race is completely dependent on, even small animals like bees and the snakes, right? So through my talk shows, I train people. Basically, it's a form of stand-up comedy, because if you were to go for a normal talk show, with a PPT, people will get bored. Maybe they will sit in the bank bench and open the phone and do sort of things. Because the biggest thing that humans, feel is that, when they're working towards wildlife, animal, and biodiversity, the thing that they're working to save planet Earth, they're working to protect the planet Earth. We are just a small peck in this universe. The planet Earth does not need our protection. Evolution. The human race will be wiped out, planet Earth will survive.
Right.
So we are working hard to make sure that by the year 2040 or 2050, the Earth is still a habitable place for the entire human race to survive. Because if you have heard the recent news, half of Mumbai will be under the ocean by the year 2050, and that's very alarming. And still everybody's thinking it's a joke.
Right. So like you mentioned, by 2050, Mumbai will almost be submerged. So what do you think are the risks or the calamities that Calcutta might face due to climate change?
See, Calcutta will be still far away from this because it's not near any ocean body, right? Okay. If I talk about the Sundarbans are one of the most critical regions of this planet Earth because they have the mangrove forests.
Yeah,
and these mangrove forests are very critical in, when it comes to managing the climate change and global warming, the temperature cycle of this planet Earth, right? So of course, Calcutta is going to face the risk. Now, if you just look at the stats, you look at the stats between 1980 to 1990, between 1990 to 2000, between 2000 to 2010, between 2010 to 2020. Every passing decade, the amount of cases related to human health has been increasing.
Yeah.
See, when you play around with the environment and wildlife, right, you're going to get affected because we are connected to an ecological balance. And it's just like that. It's just like just like a balanced game. You take out one brick out of the game, and the entire set of bricks will fall down. Right. So we humans don't realize because we haven't never thought about this in deep. So Calcutta, of course, faces a lot of issues when it comes to plastic waste management because plastic waste management का बहुत सारी चीजें होता है. Calcutta में आप Calcutta का पकड़ लो, इंडिया का पकड़ लो, लेकिन लोग आते हैं अच्छे कपड़े पहन के सोशल मीडिया पे लाइक्स वाइक्स पोस्ट डालने के लिए, फॉलोअर्स फोटोज के इससे चले जाता है. Nobody cares. People do a lot of tree plantations in Calcutta. They come for photo operations. Instagram पे reel डालेंगे, खुद को environmentalist कहेंगे. But what happens to the tree after they plant it? Nobody takes care of it, right? So the proper mechanism for plastic waste management, electronic waste management is something that Calcutta needs. Right. Second thing is urban forestation because day by day the green cover of Calcutta is reducing because of course it's a developing city, right? It's a Tier 1 city. So of course, in order to build projects, in order to build infrastructure, you need to cut down the forest and the green covers. So urban forestation is something that needs to be done, and that needs to be a responsibility of the government. Can be assisted by volunteers, normal citizens like us. Because in order to do urban forestation, in the end, we have to go to the government to give us the land, right? So somewhere down the line, it's very important for citizens like us to ask questions to the government, what you're doing for us. Because, and if you talk about other examples, other threats that face Calcutta, another big threat that I'm currently working on is the cigarette butt disposal. Because people think that these cigarette butts are made out of cotton, but they are made out of cellulose acetate. It's a very highly toxic form of plastic. And they are one of probably, people don't know this thing, but cigarette butts are probably the most littered item you find in the ocean. They're one of the major contributors to microplastics as well as heavy metal contamination. So cigarette butt decomposition and cigarette butt recycling is something that is not widely practiced in Calcutta. So of course, Calcutta has a lot of improvement to make. But if I have to choose two most important aspects, number one is waste management. Proper waste management, sustainable waste management for a long period of time. Not just 1-2 saal fir khatam. And second is urban forestation.
Urban forestation. So what can you tell our viewers? What steps can they take, in order to save the earth, in order to contribute to, the diminishment of climate change? So what can you tell the viewers about that?
मैं एक ही चीज़ बोलूँगा. This might sound a bit controversial.
Right.
People need to first practice sustainability at their own home. कि उनका lifestyle कितना sustainable है.
Yeah.
I want to lead a lifestyle where my fashion habits, my clothing habits, my eating habits, any habits has a minimal impact on the environment.
Absolutely.
And लोगों को ये लगता है यार तुम बदलोगे तो थोड़ी ना बड़ा चेंज होगा. मैं आपको एक सिंपल एग्जांपल बताता हूँ. I was in Goa for 2 years and एक दिन मैं नारियल पानी पी रहा था प्लास्टिक स्ट्रॉ से. तो मैं सोचा यार प्लास्टिक स्ट्रॉ ठीक है, डायरेक्ट पी के देखता हूँ. तो मैंने डायरेक्ट पी के उस चीज़ को मैंने देखा, तो मैंने रियलाइज़ किया कि यार स्ट्रॉ से पीने का ज़रूरत ही नहीं है. यू डोंट नीड टू ड्रिंक कोकोनट वाटर यूजिंग अ प्लास्टिक स्ट्रॉ. तो मैं डायरेक्ट मुंह में डाल के पीने लगा एंड वो पानी आपका थोड़ा मुंह में गिरता है एंड वो अच्छा भी लगता है, वो स्किन के लिए भी अच्छा होता है. लड़की लोग का डर हो सकता है कि मेकअप मेरा हट ना जाए, ठीक है. सो इट फेल्ट गुड एंड माई फ्रेंड स्टार्टेड मॉकिंग मी, यार क्या कर रहा है, क्या शो ऑफ कर रहा है, क्या एनवायरमेंटलिस्ट दिखा रहा है यहाँ पे. आई कैन प्राउडली से in the next 2 months, at least 10 to 15 of my friends are practicing the same. And that is how change happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is how change happens.
Yeah.
The simple thing is changing, bringing a change is like a virus. You don't need to take tension about the thing कि यार लोग change होगा कि नहीं होगा, मेरे action से फर्क पड़ेगा नहीं पड़ेगा. And nothing is going to change overnight. It might take you 2 months, it might take you 30 years, it might take you 40 years. You do your task, people watch you for a long period of time. We humans are evoluted from monkeys. We are going to behave like monkeys. We are going to copy. And that's how changes happen.
So, thank you so much for giving us this insight into what actually is climate change. I'm sure, our viewers have gotten a lot of points and a lot of tips on how to, contribute into saving the earth. So, thank you so much for your time, Mr. Nair. Thank you. the reputed environmentalist Tasneem Susnerwala.
Thank you.
So, can I address you as Tasneem? Or?
Yeah, sure. Tasneem is fine.
Tasneem, so why don't you tell us more about yourself?
Hello everyone. I am Tasneem Susnerwala. I'm basically a homemaker, and I love doing artistic things. Like, so I was already into painting, packings, and doing molding with clays. So, and then finally during lockdown, I ended up finding a new hidden talent in me, that is paper mash, and I love doing this.
So, like, can you tell us the passion that you have? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this type of art particularly?
Actually, this type of art, particularly, it triggered off when during lockdown. Because as my son, I asked him just to tear some pieces of paper so that his energy is utilized.
Right.
You understand how kids are very hyperactive.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I just asked him to tear some few pages of paper, and then when I came inside the room, he had just filled up a tub of paper, and I did not know what to do with it, and I did not want to throw it also. I curated my own formula, and I made this paper mash dough, and then with that dough I'm making different products, like they are wall hangings, key holders, and magnets, and whatever you can think of him.
So you mentioned that you asked your son to tear up these bits of pieces of paper. So those papers that you gave him, were they old? They were recycled?
Yeah, of course. They were very usually the papers were, like, since everything is digitalized in this lockdown, everything has been online and all.
Yeah.
So it was my husband's business, like duplicate copy they used to make.
Right.
Okay, those papers are very thin. I just gave him those papers so that it is easily torn by him, and and then it's like easy.
So you recycled the waste paper.
Yeah, they are basically waste papers.
Yeah. So can you tell me what are the bad things that Calcutta is facing? What are the, like harmful effects of climate change Calcutta is facing right now? Do you have any idea about that?
I think the usage of plastic.
Plastic
is increasing day by day. That is why. And instead of having some artifacts in the house which are plastic based, we can always go for these paper based artifacts, so that which are easily decomposed and are eco friendly also.
So what would you say to our viewers? Like, what can we do? Small things we can adapt in our household, to that is environmentally friendly. So, like, what can you say about that? Like, what can we do about it?
Like, for example, as I told, that use of plastics in household is increasing too much.
Yeah.
Like, of course, this is a very easy art, people, kids can also, they can also indulge in it. Mm-hmm. But of course, you need some experienced hands also.
Yeah.
But with the guidance, they can make beautiful things in the house, and they'll be very happy if they make it with their own hands. It's very satisfying to make something from your own hand, and it's always handmade is always made with love. It's
absolutely.
like that.
So now that you started off as a hobby, and
of course,
in order to reduce waste, and now it's like a business of yours.
Yeah,
right?
It has turned into a little mini business.
And people are, like inclined to buy it more, because when they find out that waste paper ka bana hai, environmentally friendly bhi hai, अच्छा भी लग रहा है देखने में, so they're more inclined to buy it. So you have a good customer base as well.
Yeah, usually I get from Instagram. I've got an Instagram handle also. Like my Instagram handle is Sefi Joy, and from there, I get orders from there, and also my friends and relatives, definitely.
So Tasneem, you're a woman, and of course it's a blessing. So being a woman, and you have a business, how is this being received by your family? Are they supportive, or do they think it's just a hobby? So can you tell us more about that?
Of course, as you see, each woman is a homemaker.
Right.
They have to look after their home, and apart from that, home is the priority.
Yeah.
For me, home is my priority, and this is my hobby. And of course, I get a lot of support from my mother-in-law and my father-in-law and my husband, and the most important, my child, from whom this whole idea of paper mache evolved. Mm-hmm. And I found out the hidden talent in me also, and of course they are very, very supportive.
So you make these products according to pre-order, or you have them in stock ready to go?
I usually do it against order. And since now I'm getting a little bit more orders, so I just keep few bases ready with me, because it depends on what the clients require.
Yeah, right.
So it requires shaping with your hands. So if they require something like related to baking, then I have to do it accordingly. Something related to kitchen, then I have to do something like that. If simple, it is a like rectangular,
Right.
simple key holder.
So
It's
like that. So if you want these products, you have to place a pre-order, because very rarely you'd find that she has it in stock. Because first of all, it's really nice. I doubt that it sells fast, so I doubt that she might have it in stock. And it takes time to make this, so you can DM her on her Instagram in order to purchase these, and they look really beautiful. I'm going to purchase after this. I'm going to purchase these donuts, and I'm going to take them home.
Thank you.
So thank you so much, Tasneem. This was a wonderful interaction. Thank you so much for your time.
Same here. Thank you so much for featuring me.
Of course.
I feel a lot better after coming here. Thank God. These trees have literally saved me, and it can save you too from this pollution. And yes, here's the question of today's quiz. Question 1. Are you a climate warrior? And what are the things which you can do that will help combat the climate change?
The second question for today is, what is Shankarpur Beach famously known for? If you have the answer, log on to www.mapofme.in and win exciting prizes. And अगर आपके पास climate change से निपटाने के लिए कोई भी technical solution हो, if you have a business or startup, then do let us know.
It